Remember that time I had to wait for the logo to like come across the screen?
Kinda.
If you didn't know, this podcast is also now on YouTube, so go
Now
look
you
on
know.
YouTube. Now you know.
Now you know.
Welcome to KonKon's Cantina. Grab a drink, sit back, and relax.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, I'm having a bad week, buddy.
It's your boy, Jay Breezy.
Bad.
So this is actually our last video episode ever because we're burning everything to the ground. Everything's getting burnt to the ground.
No, come on, man. You just started.
Yeah, so lots of, anyway, intros. Yeah, bad week, but we're here. We're doing
2020
it.
is in full effect.
Yeah, it's
It's here. It's thriving. 2020 is.
But hey, come on. You got it up. We got it going. Awesome.
it's your boy. It's KonKon.
There
And
it is.
you saw some people already. We are going to go over. We got the boy, Jay Breezy himself.
We back.
There
There
it
you
is.
go.
Conway, captain, right here.
And
Captain of the show.
The reason for that is, what is it, Justin? What are we doing this week?
90s mega movie, multitude of multimedia marathon.
Thing. And
Another M word.
our returning guest for the week.
The Casual Kid, a.k.a. Jordan.
Guys, the agenda for this episode is we're talking 90s stuff, okay? We're still working up to Mandalorian coming out, so we wanted to do this episode for a while. And pretty much we're just... What this is going to turn into is the list of movies that you have seen and you need to watch again. And we will see how, like, there's certain things that we're going to talk about in these movies that you just forgot about. We have some of our lists. What are the categories,
Let's see.
Justin?
We got our comedy, obviously.
Yep.
I mean, there's countless comedies that we can't even begin to list all of them, I'm sure. We got our action adventure / coming of age. I added coming of age because 90s had some of the most epic, like a 10, 12, 6, whatever age-old kid going on like the most amazing adventures.
Yeah.
That watching it as a kid, you were like, oh my God, I need to do this myself. What else did we have? What was the last one?
So we had Coming of Age. We had comedy. We had Movie of the Decade.
Yeah, movie of the decade.
There is one more.
Oh, animated.
Animated.
That's what it
Animated.
was. Because 90s had an awesome job of, like, now, like, everything's Disney, Pixar,
Yeah.
or it's DreamWorks.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. 90s had, like, this rogue generation of crazy, weird studios, ex-Disney people that would break away from Disney and then want their own studio and coming out with
Yeah.
stuff. And a lot of them became cult classics, which is a cool thing to talk about.
I'm already messing up the whole scene thing. Like, I can't
It's
see.
fine.
I can't see exactly where I'm clicking because I have to like side eye it the whole time. So it's
Connor-
like when it goes to my
Connor on
camera,
his
it's just
lap
me
has what I
like.
can only describe as an 85-year-old man's TV tray.
Listen,
As a mouse pad.
Listen, it's working right now. Okay, it's the globe. All right, it's
Upside
working.
down.
And what I'm doing
Are you a
is
flat earther?
I'm going through OBS with the tiniest Bluetooth mouse you've ever seen in your life.
What is this mouse for, ants?
look at how small this thing is compared to my hand. Like, it's so small that when I use it, my hand cramps because I'm
You're doing the claw
I'm
the
doing
whole time.
I'm actually doing the dodgeball. Like,
The Jim Carrey claw from Liar Liar.
yeah. So I'm like literally, we are peaking the mic so hard. We're dialing it in still. Okay. So
Yeah.
right now what I have is I have OBS, and instead of having the computer screen in front of me, because my laptop doesn't have enough
Juice.
USB ports, unfortunately, for all the cameras, I have to use the scene change in OBS, and that is what I am doing to go through. So anyway, agenda this episode, as we touched on, we're going to be talking pretty much all of Disney movies, 90 movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have an embarrassing story at the end.
Okay.
It's not a long story, but I do love telling this story. It is a very short
Was
story.
it me wrecking my truck this month?
No, but
Or
we can
this
get to
week?
that.
Yeah.
We can get to that. I need to get my phone.
This week has been brutal.
Yeah, this week has been brutal. Oh, guys, speaking of things that are brutal, we are a Cantina podcast. So we're going to go into the Cantina
Drink
right
time.
now. See, we need a little animated thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it looks like a little cartoon
Welcome
guy's
to
like
KonKon's
walking
Cantina.
into
No.
the thing.
What are
Talk
you
over
having?
my New Zealand guy.
Oh, my bad.
But remember, no droids.
I paid $5 for that.
As you can see, this is a ginormous drink.
Yeah, it is.
To the testament of what my last week was,
Yes.
the coming of age story that will be this week.
Yes.
Because when I overcome this week and I get to Saturday, somebody will make a movie
Yes.
out of it. I already forgot what we decided to call this drink.
The Cantina Manarita.
The Cantina. I love it when you call me the Cantina Manarita. All right, so the Cantina Manarita. We had like a beach weekend this weekend.
Which was fun.
It was
That
fun.
It was really
I've
fun.
never gone from having such a great weekend to horrible week in such a quick turn.
Short turns, short
Yeah.
time. I made this drink on accident. Now we've talked about on the show before, like loaded Coronas, like loaded drinks.
Right.
So when we were at the hotel, I am trying to eat a lot better. I am trying. I hit my rock bottom, the weight that when I get to this weight, that's it. I'm gonna change what I'm doing when I'm eating. So I'm trying not to drink during the week. I didn't drink Monday or Tuesday, but because of the podcast we're recording on a Wednesday, I have to have a drink. Like we're in the cantina. All right, so made this drink kind of by mistake on our beach weekend. So what this is it's a full
Drunken decision drink.
Yes. Well, it'll definitely get you there. You got to be careful with this one. This is it's a mango beer, and it's made by Golden Road is the name of the company. At least that's what it says on it, and it's a mango wheat ale. Ooh. So what I did is I made the kind of like the organic KonKon's Cantina margarita that I've had on the show before.
Right.
So I did a half of a muddled lime, and then I did 2 shots of silver tequila, and then simple syrup. Shake that up really, really well. Pour it in a glass, and then I did a half a beer. For this one, though, because of this week, this is 3 shots tequila and the full beer. So you get just this really, really nice. You do kind of get the back end.
Yeah, the beer is making it the Manarita.
It's just it's adding.
That's where the name came from.
Yeah, it's adding a lot of depth to the drink because it's not just like, oh, here's a margarita with orange juice. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Justin, what are you drinking?
I am drinking. Well, I haven't even opened it yet. This is a first for me. I've not had it. This is going to be a live taste test. This is a Blue Point Imperial Sunshine 9.6% blonde ale with orange and natural flavors. Blue Point's made a lot of really good stuff. They typically do tend to be, I mean, what would you say, Jordan? They're more fruity. They're a little more.
It's very citrusy,
flavorful.
Yeah, a lot more flavorful. Blue Point has a lot of really good beer.
Like
it's usually very toasty, but that beer is very citrusy.
I haven't opened it. I'm going to open it live right now.
Do it.
I'm a little scared because sometimes an overly fruity beer doesn't sit well with me. So let's see what this is.
But citrus is a completely different monster.
Yeah, it's a mix between like orange peel and.
Ooh, I like this.
Yeah.
The high alcohol helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9.6%. This to me tastes like a classic wheat beer, like a Blue Moon, like a
The first craft beer.
yeah, the original craft beer. What's another good wheat beer? Like a Tucher, I guess you could say.
Blue Moon's pretty good.
Blue Moon.
Something like that. Tucher, the original craft German beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it already has the orange squeezed into it.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yes,
what I
yes,
would.
yeah.
It's a wheat beer that already has the orange squeezed into it. I really like this. I'm
Yeah.
very pleasantly surprised.
And it was BOGO at Publix.
Oh, that was
When?
the best.
So you can't. This past week. So you can't beat that because I got 2 of the mango wheats and then I got that too. I saw the
Dang.
percentage on that and I was like,
It does not taste 9.6.
well, that's that's the thing too about their lager, their toasted lager. It's the same thing. The one that's in the bottle, that's
Right.
like 8%, and it does not taste it.
No.
wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
I
I
like
give this a solid 8 out of 10 for a Mando scale.
Yeah,
This is-
I'd go 7 or 8.
Grab and go, and
Yeah, yeah.
there's nothing. It's delicious out of the can.
It was great at the beach for our beach weekend, but the mistake that I made is I brought that and the mango thing, so I like doubled up on the citrus, and I
Yeah.
had all the limes for the margaritas.
Ugh.
So it still was really good though.
Yeah.
Put up that can again, Justin. There you
Can
go.
artwork. Whoop.
It is.
The right
I do.
way.
You know, it reminds me of that No Doubt album. Speaking of the 90s,
Ah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Gwen Stefani, I love you.
Yeah, she has that one. All right, casual kid.
All right.
What are you drinking?
So I am drinking. I actually brought in the bottle. I am drinking Stranahan's.
Stranahan.
Colorado whiskey, right?
It is a Colorado whiskey. They claim to be the first Colorado whiskey. It's 94 proof. It is a straight whiskey. If I had anything to say about it, it's really, if you like cinnamon,
I could see that. I could
it
definitely
is-
see that in
yeah.
this Stranahan.
Stranahan's with cinnamon. It's a very strong cinnamon flavor. It's not as strong as what it was originally when I first had it.
I was gonna say Stranahan seemed to like grow on me over time, and I
Yeah.
feel like the flavor profile changed slightly.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot more cinnamon forward, but it's really good, really smooth. It's a little bit, for a budget drinker like me, it's still a little bit high on the price for something that I would grab. I think it's like $55-$60 for just the yellow label that I
I was
showed.
just gonna ask if you tried any other labels.
The
from
black
them.
label I have tried. It is a lot smoother. It's a lot cleaner flavor. It doesn't have the cinnamon flavor in it. And that is really good. It's been a while since I've had it, but this really good. I'd give it probably about a 7, 6 or 7 Mandos.
I feel like. Do you think we score things too high? Because I feel like we're always giving out 6s, 7s, and 8s.
It's only because we drink the good stuff, dude.
It
Let's
is-
be
it
honest.
is true.
here.
It is true. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
We
don't
only
drink.
want to talk about what we really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, we've given a lot of 1s and 4s and 3s. I think, but like Jordan just said, we tend to pick things that we either think we are going to like or know that we like.
Now,
I think what we need to do more is also include in our Mando scale is like, where is this going to sit actually down with a Mandalorian in the culvert? Because I think that, I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked about it sometimes, but I think that should be a massive
Yeah.
factor.
Yeah.
Not necessarily do we like it right now, like, but like, could you see? Because we couldn't really see like a delicious poolside Bahama Mama that might be yummy.
Yeah.
Mandalorian's never going to drink
Yeah.
that. Never in the culvert will you see that.
If you weigh it on a scale of what do you actually think Mandos would drink of this, then yeah, I think
Yeah, the
that's
score might
fair.
be lower.
Can't
Yeah.
believe I just said
If
yummy.
that's the case, then for this is
Yummy.
probably going to be about five Mandos.
You
then.
totally just
Kicked
kicked
my
the,
can.
Yeah, you kicked the tripod.
How
Oh.
dare you, sir?
Here, Jordan, move
Switch
it a
it
little
and
bit.
I'll actually looks pretty good from that angle.
I like
There
it.
you
Oh, we
go.
got the beer fridge in there.
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Oh,
I
the
know.
famous beer fridge. For me, this one. So based on what you said, we do have to start taking that into an account more.
I
Is
think
like,
for
is
this-
this
that's
being
our show
drank?
scale? Yeah.
Is this being drank?
Can't be too personal.
I don't know, bro. The armor, I can see her out there with a bikini and just the helmet on drinking this, bro.
I'd watch that.
You know what? Like a nice Apple, like kind of like a screensaver, you know, on your Apple TV, the Disney Plus. Come on, I know you're listening. That'd be, no. For real, my personal, man, I think this is good. You did try it over
I
the
did
weekend.
like it. Yes.
Yeah.
It tastes like a mixed drink. It does not taste like a beer thrown into
Yes, exactly.
something that you already have like an acquired taste. Like it doesn't taste like a margarita that somebody splashed some beer into.
For coming up with it on the fly, and
Because I came up with it.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
It's your podcast. I don't
10
know.
out of 10. All right.
How dare you, sir?
All right, guys. Housekeeping. We okay. Once again, we've said it once. We've had a rough week. We're here. We're having a good time. Okay. We are out of order. So I got to get the housekeeping out of the way. Okay.
Do it.
Spoiler warning for 90s movies. we can't give you the list that we're going to talk about right away. But if for some reason you have lived under a rock, like Logan Labie, and you have not seen these movies,
Or you're a millennial.
or you probably haven't seen them. Logan, I love you. You know I do. But seriously, all these movies you probably haven't seen. I mean, you just watched Lord of the Rings and you're like 26 years old. Shout outs, of course, the Facebook group. Okay, it's because of you guys. Our Facebook group is our most active group.
Yes.
We love you guys. Instagram at KonKon's Cantina. If you would like to work with us and this podcast, please reach out to us via email at KonKon'sCantina@gmail.com. We have a Discord
Yes.
that me and Jordan pretty much keep alive.
I post
no.
in there
Anthony
sometimes.
and Chloe too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chris occasionally.
Anthony, can I call you Tony?
throw
Can I
Yeah.
call you Tony? I don't think he
don't
likes
know.
that.
No.
No, I like that. We're only calling him
Come on,
Tony.
Tony.
Don't
put it down the drain. Don't.
Donnie.
Please rate this podcast, guys. It does help show us to other people on especially iTunes. The 5-star rating helps push it. YouTube can't talk. YouTube, obviously, we are doing the
Smash that subscribe button.
smash it, hit the bell. Actually, don't hit the bell because we try to upload every Monday. That's pretty much all you need to know. You don't need the bell to tell you that.
Yes, when
Just
we have
subscribe.
more time in our lives, we'll probably jump back to doing some unboxing and some reviews and some stuff.
There's
right
a
now.
lot of new toys coming out, but
I may have bought
everybody's
all of them.
doing well. Everyone's
I
going
may
through
be selling
Corona
all of
stuff.
them.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's going through Corona stuff, so things are a little bit tight. Facebook group, guys, you've been killing it lately. Okay, we already said that.
Yes. Thank you to our group.
Bar patrons that have been amazing this week. Got to give you a shout out. Alex Wagner and Dylan Labie came up with some banger questions this
Both
week.
with bad cars.
But we had an awesome board at work thread that Alex came up with, where Alex talked about what do you do for a living. A lot of people in the Facebook group not introduce themselves, but we don't all know what we do for work. So everybody was talking about that. That was really nice. And Dylan came up with he got a great snack poll. I think he got it from Barstool.
Great snack debate.
Yeah.
Which I do not hold a claim in. I am not a snacker.
You're not a snacker?
Dude, I'm just not a snacker. I don't know if it's because my mom never would buy snacks when we were growing up, so like I never.
And didn't
taught
your
the
sister
it.
say something like that too?
Yeah, she's like, Mom never bought snacks. I was like, yes, I
No,
know.
wait a minute.
We were poor. That's what happens.
Now wait a minute. Even let's say you've had a little too much to drink and you really just need a snack. You don't have anything that you grab for?
No.
What?
The closest thing to a snack that I had is I would wrap pepperoni around cheese sticks, but that was only when I was at my friends' houses that had snacks.
What did
That's
you
fair.
eat?
I don't know, like vegetables.
Air.
That's why I'm
Moving
as,
on.
that's why I'm as fat as I am right now. Is like I'm making up for it as an adult.
And Dylan came up with the car that you wish you never sold
Oh,
thread.
yeah.
This
That's
is
a
a
tough
great
one.
thread.
Man, I brought a tear to my eye. Shout
This
outs
is
to my amazing
Something
240.
that I wish we could implement into our show because Connor and I are both such car guys,
Gearheads,
petrol
for sure.
heads, gearheads, wherever you're from. Like, I think the first time that I actually this is a funny story.
We have too many ambitions,
Yep.
This is a funny story, Connor.
which
The
is
first
why we're
time-
like 30 minutes into this podcast and haven't gotten to a
That's fine.
single movie.
That's fine. I've had a horrible week. We can talk about whatever we want.
Yeah.
The first time that I met you, Connor, was at Brandon's house.
Okay.
I rolled up in my Mini. Like I had this sweet
the
Mini.
I'm like, look at this guy in his Mini.
Okay, you were driving a Civic.
My Civic was faster. Got him.
It was faster, but it didn't look as good.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't know
Anyway,
about that.
so I
Anyway.
roll up and I'm like, it's like, who's this guy with the dope Civic? And that is the first time I met you drumming your little heart out.
I
my God.
I used to drum my heart out. I don't anymore. It's kind of sad, but
But we need to implement cars without ruining the subject matter of our podcast because it is a huge thing.
we've had we just need to start getting back to the special segment type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Facebook page. If you do not know, Facebook has a awesome feature where if you comment and you like on a bunch of stuff, it will give you a top fan. So we wanted to shout out all of our top fans this week for Facebook. That is Jordan Grip. You already saw him. Ayo. Anders Linquist. Ryan. You had to help me.
McIntyre.
Thank you, McIntyre. Niles, of course. Niles has been on the podcast before.
$10,000 subscriber.
Kill Key Factory.
You've
That
heard
is-
the ad.
Yep. Steven, Josh, Melvin, Chris, Chloe, and Anthony, and our newest
Tony.
top fan, Tony, Ian Huskisson. All of you guys, thank you for being a top fan.
Thank you, Tony.
On our... He's probably... He's like going to break the Superstar Destroyer he got, like the Lego one.
Please no.
The agenda, as we've already said, we are going to have a roundtable discussion similar to our video games episode.
One of my favorites that we recorded.
Yes, that was, so much fun doing that.
Go back and listen to that episode if you haven't listened to it.
Absolutely.
If you're a gamer, check that episode out because it is awesome.
And we've talked about, too, we need to do just a Star Wars video game
we
episode
need to get
for sure.
Russell on here and do a Star Wars because he could talk forever on Knights of the Old Republic.
So as you said, we will be covering action adventure / coming of age. We will be doing a comedy, animated, which does not have to be Disney. 90s had tons of animated movies in it. And then we will be doing what we consider our best drink. Best drink. See, listen, we are a Cantina podcast.
Cantina Manarita is reaching its toll.
Listen, it's getting there. And you know what? More now than ever do I realize that it is absolutely impossible to sit here, talk, and switch between, like, this is why, like, good podcasts have a producer, because going back and forth, and
it's going to be
impossible.
Whoever the last person Connor stopped paying attention to is who it's going to be left on.
Or at what point do I get through enough drinks where I totally forget about that thing?
You need to be in my seat, because my seat, the monitor is right there, which is right next to the camera. You need to be right here. Well, unfortunately,
it's not the positioning. Well, yeah, I guess that could be a better position.
Because then you could see out of the corner of your eye, and it's there. And
it's just, it's like, because I really need to get an Elgato.
Yeah.
Basically a stream
Video
panel.
capture.
Yes,
yeah,
jefe.
which
El Guapo?
El Guapo? Yes, you have a plethora of oh my gosh, that's a whole nother episode.
Yes, jefe. Would you say your stream tech
Okay,
is
let's get into this.
Yes.
Let's get into this. Okay.
Having too much fun.
90s movies.
Okay.
Like we were talking earlier, there are just an absolute ton of movies. So I'm just going to kick it off with one movie that is just my favorite. This is action. I wouldn't call it coming of age, even though it has made somebody like you come of age.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
Is it My Girl?
No, it's not. Batman Forever.
Yes.
Solid choice.
Okay.
Yes.
Batman Forever. There's something about the old bad Batman movies. Like,
It's not bad. Not that bad.
The Jerry Bruckheimer Batman movies.
It's pretty bad.
Okay.
It's pretty bad.
Whatever.
Like,
It makes me mad because Jim Carrey as the Riddler is so bad.
it is bad.
It's so bad.
like
It's
it
good.
should have been like
Because it's literally all of his roles in a
Morphed.
different costume.
Yeah.
Like, he has... Well, and I guess when you become such a renowned actor like Jim Carrey with all the things that he's done, like The Mask, which I'm sure we'll get into later, but Ace Ventura, Lloyd from Lloyd Christmas, Dumb and Dumber, I can pick all of those characters even though he hasn't played even some of those roles yet when he did this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just because
Jim Carrey's playing Jim Carrey.
It's Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey.
It's a caricature of himself.
Yeah, and I get that, but there's just so much about that movie that movies like almost don't. There's a lot of practical effects that are really good in that movie. It kind of reminds me of also Jim Carrey Grinch Stole Christmas, where
movie
there's
Yeah.
so many practical effects,
Yeah.
especially in like a lot of, almost reminds me of the Adam West style Batman stuff
Camp.
where
Yeah.
super campy,
Bang,
like
pow.
there's and
Yeah.
it doesn't, even though it doesn't directly say that on the screen, like when somebody gets hit, like a flurry of steam comes out, like they hit a pole and it's like it's a water main, and there's so much about that movie that's
just think about the acting level of actors that were in that movie.
Yeah.
Like there were no bad actors.
No,
everybody in that movie
that was a big budget.
Yeah.
Big budget.
Like I mean, there's Academy Award winning actors in that movie.
Val Kilmer,
Yeah, it was an incredible
who
cast.
is amazing.
Jim
Yeah.
Carrey,
Who is amazing.
Yep.
Chris O'Donnell,
Who is amazing for his rock climbing movie that I loved.
Tommy
What's the
Lee
name of
Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Like, how did they get
Academy Award winner.
Never would I think that. Like,
Playing such a goofy role.
yes,
Dude.
playing Two-Face.
He was actually one of the best in that movie. I
had
don't
a
understand.
Crush on those
Like,
white
dude,
and black
he
outfit girls.
Oh, Drew Barrymore was one of the girls.
Oh, yeah.
One of his twins. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones, man, just killed that role for
chill out.
No.
That's a
That's
different one.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that's it. We're skipping Batman movies.
Yeah.
That was just. I mean, we're gonna continue to talk about action. Does anybody have another one for immediately right off the top of the head that they wanted to?
So
that they had for action
in this category for me, I didn't follow with kind of the same train of thought as action. I went more action, adventure, coming of age because I'm born in '85, so '90s for me was literally 5 years old through 15 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like these are the movies that are imprinted into my head
Yes.
that I watched growing up.
And the other thing too is a lot of these movies we're going to talk about came on TNT.
Oh, yes.
And they
Oh,
were
yeah.
on television
TBS,
all
TNT,
the time.
all the time.
Fox all the time. They were on there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for me, like as a kid, like my number one favorite movie, like that I can only think of is Home Alone. Like I loved Home Alone. I literally had a Macaulay Culkin.
Would you consider that your coming of age?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
that was like the movie that was like I fantasized about being him. Like
Yeah.
I love that movie. I love the jokes, the pranks, the practical comedy
Yeah.
with Joe Pesci and big tall curly haired guy that I can't think
That dude.
of. Oh man, I can't think if I had my phone.
I'll get it. Keep going.
One of the
But-
Wet Bandits.
The Wet Bandit. Well, yeah, they were the Wet Bandits then, the Sticky Bandits.
Later.
This is a constant argument my wife and I, Liz, get in is Home Alone 1 or Home Alone 2, which is better. I'm
Home Alone 1.
Dude, I'm so Home Alone 1.
Same.
She's Home Alone 2. And
It's Home Alone 1.
to her, it's because she likes the big city where he's exploring and everything.
No, that's
I don't see it.
It's not the same.
You got to go OG. The
Yeah.
sequel
Yeah.
is not
Yeah.
better than the original. Like,
Yeah.
but that movie, like, man, that movie, like, just resonated. Like, as being like an 8, 10-year-old kid, whatever age, and then like seeing this kid go through all this and like be his own person, like it was amazing.
Yeah.
Daniel Stern.
Okay.
I trust you.
I love how I love how I already messed up the thing again. Yeah, I love how I tell
should
you
have screamed.
I tell you like who Daniel Stern is, and you're like,
Yes, him.
okay, like nothing else.
Cool, bro.
I trust Google.
Yeah.
Have you
all right.
seen the quick picture of like this was like this floating around for like a 2020 Halloween outfit? It's just like two friends dressed up as the Wet Bandits, like the iron mark on his face,
Oh,
and then the
I
burn
did see
mark
that.
on the fake Joe Pesci. Like he's got the
Yeah.
big M and like
Nah, I didn't see
burnt
that.
into his palm. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, these are the two best costumes ever. If you had
Yeah.
two friends like where one is short and bald and the other is tall with a fro, like this is the ultimate costume.
That might be hard to get away with in like the climate though that we're in now. It's like if you're going to a con, like anyway, you get what I'm saying. That is a lot of people won't understand the costume.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Who would not understand that costume?
Lots of people.
Millennials.
Never.
All right. So this was an example of one of the movies to talk about. So I'm going to talk about it anyway.
Do it.
We got to talk about Sandlot.
Yes.
Oh, you're
Yes.
killing me, Smalls.
Do we though?
That's the
Yeah, we
best
do.
quote.
We do have
You
to
don't
talk
like
about
the
Sandlot. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
not what I said.
Okay. No. Sandlot is one of
It is a great coming of, and my boy James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones was in there.
Yes, Darth
You know,
Vader.
Dennis
I get it.
Leary was the dad.
Yeah,
It was so much of a coming of age movie,
For sure.
and as somebody who in his teen years ended up moving states. So I ended up moving from the group of kids that I grew up with to, from Texas here to Florida. I really understood that movie and identified with it, with the main character.
Hey, y'all seen Sandlot?
this is my favorite movie, man.
It is one of my favorite movies. Top 3 most quoted movies of my entire life.
People,
You're killing me, Smalls is the best line ever.
Yeah.
People say you're killing me, Smalls, and they don't even know what it's from.
Yeah,
that's the
dude,
crazy part.
That is the best description. Like when you're quoting something that you don't even know what it's from, but it's just like part of your like
it's pop culture.
Yeah,
it
like,
becomes pop
You're
culture.
just saying it, and you don't even know where it's from. That means it's an amazing movie.
Not
Yeah.
even my favorite quote of the movie, though. My favorite quote is when they're describing why nobody goes into the old man's yard, and they're telling the story of like the cops coming, and trying to keep the dog in the fence. And
What
the
kind
guy,
of, why can't I remember what kind of dog?
It was
what-
like
a Mastiff.
no, it was a what's the dog
Saint
from-
Bernard?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank
Like
you,
a Saint Bernard, yeah.
gigantic slobbery
I
Saint
say
Bernard.
Beethoven. It's the same dog.
I mean, it's a big dog.
It's
It's
big.
huge.
It's a big dog.
That's
The
a
beast.
big.
Yeah. So the line is, he's like, so how long do I need to keep the dog locked up? And the cop pushes up his glasses and says, forever. Forever. And it keeps zooming in. And it's just the
Solid.
best line ever. And so anytime I needed to say forever, I did it that exact same way
Yes.
as a kid.
Same. That's the same as it's the same thing. It's like you're quoting it, you don't even realize it.
Yep.
There
What
was
what was the name of the lifeguard? Wendy Peppercorn.
Yes. Wendy Peppercorn.
we got like
That was a Me Too moment if I've ever seen one.
me. What did she do to you? Me and Natasha were scrolling through Disney Plus one day, and Natasha was like, "Oh, the Sandlot! Like we'll watch the Sandlot." And
If you
The
say
weird thing-
one negative thing, I will slap that mic into your face.
This podcast will be over.
so we're watching the Sandlot, and I know the whole time this isn't Sandlot.
Wait, what?
Wait.
Because Disney Plus, they didn't have rights to everything when Disney Plus launched. So we're sitting there, we're watching like Sandlot 2.
Oh, that's right.
And
I
it's
forgot
where
there was a
it's where
sequel.
like he actually becomes a pro baseballer and he gets hit in the head, but he goes back in
I've
time.
never seen this movie.
It's
Neither have
it's
I.
not good. It's not good.
I've seen the DVD cover. That's
Yeah,
as close
yeah.
as I've gotten to it.
And it was so funny because it took getting to the kids like where they're all together playing baseball, and we're like, this is not them. And I was like, yeah, no, it's not them.
Shout out to the 90s for coming out with some of the best, worst sequels ever.
Is there
Like,
like
straight to VHS in the 90s was like guaranteed hot, steaming trash.
All
Like,
the Aladdin
every
movies.
time.
All the Aladdin
I
sequels.
liked Aladdin too. How
We-
dare
we
you
do-
say
we
Return of
do-
Jafar is a good movie.
I'm gonna go one more. I'm gonna go one more action.
Okay.
Well, I guess it. Well, we'll consider
I
the
got
other
an action
one.
movie after that. Like I picked
Me
the kiddie
too.
one. I have an action movie.
I know
too.
it's so hard. Okay, then
If you
then
make it quick.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring up 1995 Waterworld.
Ooh.
You son of a bee! You took my.
Were you gonna? Well, the thing
no,
about
like that movie.
that
Go, you
Waterworld,
start it.
I mean, a lot of people I don't think have seen Waterworld. The budget was ginormous. It didn't make a lot of money. It's considered a failure. The movie I think is amazing.
Financial
Yes, it is.
failure, but
Yeah.
movie amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Absolutely.
There's so much about the movie. It was better than Mad Max. It was Mad Max before it was Mad Max. Him being kind of Mad Max is overrated. Throwing that out there. Unpopular opinion. Don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can get into later time.
Yeah. Later time.
Yeah.
There was so much about like him being like.
The gills behind his ears.
Yeah, like kind of like evolving or a mutant, however you want to look at it. It's not really explained in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this. My favorite scene in the whole
the
movie.
smokers
Yeah, the smokers. They're on the jet skis.
ripping it on like
Ring.
stand-up jet skis, just crushing it with a diesel plume coming.
And
behind
you
them.
know they were Yamaha because that's when Yamaha had the patent on the
little
rooster
rooster
tail.
tail?
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
No, I love the part when he uses himself as bait to catch a fish.
I wanna watch
So
this movie again.
he gets the ski
Yeah.
rope and he ties it to his catamaran and he
Yes.
jumps into the water and they have like the big mutant fish and he catches it anyway. Waterworld, that was my definite. I had to mention it without mentioning it. I know one of you is gonna mention the coming to age that I wanted to mention, so we put action and coming to age together.
Yeah.
Anyway, Justin, did you have your next one?
Yeah, my action. Oh man, now that I'm second guessing this, it might not be action as much as it is.
Well, it can be action and coming of age.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
You have to
Yeah.
mention Jurassic Park.
Yeah, you
Like,
do.
And
I was like, is it sci-fi? Is it action? Like,
it's action. It's action. Clever girl. The reason that we have to mention it is because we are Star Wars forward. And if you did not know, Spielberg, the animation technology that went
Pioneering.
behind Jurassic
Yeah.
Park was literally invented by George Lucas.
Yep.
So if you didn't know this, everything that is Pixar Studios today would be absolutely nothing if it wasn't for George Lucas.
Lucas and Spielberg together were like, they were like next level, like in effects. Period.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
practical or computer, like
Yeah.
effects, like everything to them was awesome.
Yeah, and on top of that, Jurassic Park, the original, is such a successful movie because it was amazing. In fact, I wrote this down here in my notes. It is the third highest grossing movie in the 90s and is still in the top 50
Titanic beat it.
highest grossing movie.
Top
Yeah.
50.
Top 50 of all time still. It is such a good movie.
And Justin, we were actually talking at the beach. Man, I keep messing up the darn scene thing. We were talking at the
Yeah.
beach, but there was something about there was animation, stop motion,
Claymation.
They used so many and practical
Practical,
I would consider
like the giant animatronic
Yeah.
T-Rex. Yeah.
yeah. There's just so much about
I was blown away when the scene in the kitchen, the commercial kitchen with all the
yes.
that
scary.
whole thing with the raptors was claymation.
which is crazy.
And it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like I rewatch it
Jeez.
over again and over again and over again. I'm like, how did they make claymation
Yeah.
and these practical effects look like you literally can't reproduce that into
No.
computer graphics, CGI, anything right now with $1 million budget and maybe with $1 million budget.
Yeah,
But like how
Yeah.
much money do you have to dump to like replicate this like such basic technology that they did so stinking awesome? Like
they were perfectionists. They
That
were
movie's so good.
perfectionists, for sure.
I think the thing for me with that movie is there's so much of Jeff that has turned into the meme world where millennials or Gen Z, people that haven't seen Jurassic Park for whatever reason, because maybe they think that Chris Pratt, the remakes, those are the only Jurassic Parks, whatever the case may be.
I judge them.
The meme culture of the United States and the world has taken all the Jeff Goldblum stuff so far that there's no way that you don't
Which
know
he
what.
disappeared
Yeah.
100%, like disappeared for like what 15 years.
He's been
And
making
then
a
he makes
huge.
he makes a resurgence, like launching with a Disney Plus show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
Well, and Portlandia.
Well,
let's
he's
be honest.
amazing in Portlandia. Like when he has the knot store.
Yes.
He sells craft knots to hipsters.
The only thing left
See,
I
this
had,
is the bow line. This is the bow line.
Yeah.
You can present this at your housewarming gift.
the
What
only
did you-
thing left I had for Jurassic Park was that it was composed by one of the greatest composers for movies of all time, John Williams.
Of course.
John
yeah.
Williams,
Can't go without
like,
saying that.
and I had to do a quick research because I noticed a lot of the movies I was looking at that I wanted to talk about were composed by John Williams.
In the 90s.
The 90s,
Yeah.
man, he
was
destroyed.
making dad money.
So good. All of them.
What's just out of curiosity, did you write down what the number one grossing film for the 90s
Titanic.
was? Was it Titanic?
It's Titanic.
Yeah.
So
That was the number
Because
one grossing-
Titanic was only
Avatar is the
overtaken
only
by
thing.
Avatar.
Yeah. So-
well, and now Avengers
Yeah.
Endgame is number
So
one.
the top three were Titanic. The second was Phantom Menace. And then the third was Jurassic Park.
and
we
and that's where, I'll say a little bit.
go ahead.
There's a fine line between this turning into a Phantom of the Menace episode.
Exactly.
And so I just completely left it
Me
out
too.
of any of my lists
Yes.
because I didn't.
I
I
like-
knew that we would
We're
go
gonna
down.
have a full episode sooner
Yeah.
or later. Like we can't.
Yeah, exactly.
No. It was left off my list too, simply because I do like the Phantom Menace. I don't remember the 90s for it, but it
Isn't
does
that,
have.
and that's so weird is because it's 99.
Yeah, it's right there on the edge. But I will say that in the 90s, it had the greatest action sequence of all time, which was Duels of the Fate. Yeah.
I
Also the
consider
best
the
song.
pod racer scene
Yeah.
action scene too.
That's a sound system test. Anytime
Yeah.
I upgrade sound systems in my house,
Everybody does
like
that.
that is the thing. Like you need to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's move past
Yeah.
this.
I love how
before-
Anakin's always sound like an R1.
And Saboba's coming through with the fun.
Oh, see, it's already turning
Yeah.
into.
No.
Okay.
Hard left.
All
Hard
right.
left.
Last action movie we're going to talk about before we move on. I did not give you a second one.
No.
I didn't. Okay. Go to your second one.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Stargate.
Yes, you
Stargate.
took.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
Stargate.
we cannot get the high five on camera.
No.
But you heard
Reproduce.
it. Reproduce.
Whose camera?
Neither.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
Stargate.
So yeah, Stargate. Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
I have two phones, and I had one with actually Stargate on it, and I can't remember which one it is.
Oh, Stargate
Oh
is
my
so
God.
good.
Stargate. Kurt Russell, James Spader. It was
James Spader is so young.
so young. This was before he was considered cool.
Uh-huh.
James Spader did such a good job. Kurt Russell, all of it. It was a phenomenally awesome movie set
Such
in
a
a
cool
scene.
concept.
Yeah, it was set in a scene. It goes into the whole, aliens caused Egypt to happen, and
They basically were the technology
Yeah.
behind
And it
ancient Egypt.
somehow ties into the Fifth Element because of the aliens in Egypt.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
not
just-
no. I
No.
was just kidding.
See, I also
Shout outs to our Fifth Element.
I also
episode.
Yeah,
left
you just
Fifth
wanted to talk
Element
about
out.
Fifth Element. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
But
left
anyway,
that out because we have a whole episode.
Yeah.
So I, couldn't
I
include
know.
that.
Yeah, same thing.
So yeah, Stargate. I love that movie. The,
Listen to
the
our Fifth
effects,
Element episode.
The effects for that movie were fantastic. The lines. There was a line that got me rewatching it recently, where Ra, the villain of the movie, says, in his language, which it sounds like three people are talking at one time.
Yes.
And he says the line of, "I created your civilization. Now I'm going to destroy it."
that's
And
the
it
most
just-
Thanos thing I've ever heard.
Oh, chills. Oh, it was so good.
Everything about that movie,
Yeah.
and it spawned multiple TV shows. It spawned multiple books. Like,
Yeah.
I keep messing it up.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
sorry.
It's
I
okay.
keep messing it
It's
up.
okay.
We're getting used to it, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Conway, son.
Conway, son. Okay.
Captain.
Stargate. Do you feel, man, it's hard not to get on a whole Stargate conversation because, I feel like Stargate has the least amount of
Representation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In the kind of sci-fi realm, but that's a whole
It's
nother
got
episode.
multiple TV shows though.
It does, but when it comes to fandom,
Yeah.
and I wonder. Anyway, like I
It's
said,
more
whole nother,
No,
cult.
no.
It's
whole nother
definitely
thing.
more cult. It's definitely
Yeah.
more
Yeah,
cult
yeah, yeah, yeah.
fandom.
And there is more of a following for the TV show than there
Yeah.
is the actual movie.
SG-1
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Atlantis and all those,
Yeah.
which I literally
SG-1. Yeah,
I
but
never watched any of the TV shows.
Me either.
they were always
But
on
I
TNT.
loved the movies.
And Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh,
Sorry,
Sci-Fi
keep
when
hiccuping.
It,
Okay,
shout out
real
to
quick.
Sci-Fi Channel when
Yeah.
it was still
Go-
spelled
go ahead.
correctly.
We are wrapping up action and coming of age with one movie,
All right.
Hook.
Oh, no, that's,
What?
that's my greatest of the decade.
Well, okay.
Wait a minute,
You want
wait
to
a
save
minute.
it?
No,
We
no.
can save it. We can save it.
Okay.
You want to save it?
Yes.
Okay, we'll
Okay.
save it. We'll move past that. We do have an honorable mention section, but I kind of want to use that honorable mention for that category. So I'm just going to mention
Like our
some
greatest.
Well, I'm going to mention some honorable mentions for action that we just don't have
Okay.
the time to
Save
talk
it.
about. Because we could go on and on and on. So for actions, once again, we mentioned Batman Forever. We mentioned Sandlot as coming of age, and we talked about
Home Alone.
Thank you, Home Alone. Some things that we didn't get to talk about, which are huge grossing movies that are still popular today, that they still show on TV. Independence Day,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
007 GoldenEye.
Oh.
Okay, another
Yeah.
great one. The Matrix.
Yes.
Like,
See, I was going though.
the Matrix could literally Matrix trilogy could be a whole episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
probably
For me, I
will
was
be.
more thinking of the movies I saw as a kid, and
For
that
sure.
could just
Same.
be.
For sure.
Same.
Well, Matrix still, it was on TV so much.
No, Matrix was rated R, and
But
I
it was still on
not-
TV.
I was 15, not in '99.
He's
Like I was
talking
14, 15. So like Matrix, like
He's
I
talking
didn't-
about a pure nostalgia.
So for
Yeah,
me,
yeah, I
nostalgia
gotcha.
wise, like that was a later movie.
Yeah. Same.
Mission Impossible 1.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's too many things to pick from.
There's so many cliches that have come from Mission Impossible
Oh, we did
that have been used in,
Yeah.
more action movies.
It was used in comedy and satires all the time. We
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
even talk about The Mummy.
We didn't talk about The Mummy. We didn't talk about Starship Trooper.
Ooh.
Dude,
So campy.
Small Soldiers.
Wait a minute.
Didn't ever like it.
Wouldn't Small Soldiers technically be an animated?
It was
No, it's real. It's
What are you talking
it's
about
stop
now?
motion. It's real.
That was like CG.
Yeah.
Was it? Maybe it's
It was
maybe
a
it's both.
spin-off of
Yeah.
it was a spin-off of Toy Story.
It could be a spin-off of Toy Story.
Yeah.
Not a spin-off of Toy Story. I think they stole the idea from Toy Story.
Anyway,
Anyway,
They were a
all
great
right.
PlayStation game.
Our next category is animated. No, sorry, it's comedy.
there you
Comedy.
Comedy.
This is another one that we're just gonna like.
Well, I'm gonna kick this off, and I'm not gonna talk about it long because there's nothing to talk about. It's just quotes. So I'm
Okay.
gonna get this right out of the way.
Please.
1994 Dumb and Dumber.
go. Yeah.
you.
It is
thank you.
the best comedy of
Thank
the
you.
decade.
Yeah.
By far, it is
Yeah.
one of the funniest movies of all time.
Ever.
It has aged the best.
Forever.
Thank you, sir.
You can continue to watch it. It you know, you know what's one thing that is amazing about that movie is I think that Jeff Daniels did just as good as Jim Carrey, and for whatever reason, Jim Carrey's career didn't launch from there, but it was already in that forward motion.
Yeah. He was already like over the top, like going.
And I didn't look up any sort of statistics, but if you were to ask me, I would think that Jim Carrey got paid more than Jeff Daniels.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because of his name already.
Yeah.
But Jeff Daniels has had so many good... Have you noticed that he's been in a political scene where he's making political type movies?
Have you watched the Western with him? The Western show with him?
Yeah, the Western. There's a Western. Yes, that was the Netflix one.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, where he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yes, and
he's awesome.
He very good actor. A very, very underrated actor.
Yeah.
He has multiple layers. But okay, so Dumb and Dumber, way too many
I don't
memorable
even think
scenes.
we could do 2 hours of just quoting that movie.
Yeah.
Well, we have to do a Dumb and Dumber episode, and unfortunately, that episode will just be us reenacting the movie. So be prepared for
Start
a
to
2-hour
finish.
episode because, well, honestly, this is going to end up being a 2-hour episode.
Yeah.
Longest YouTube upload
It's
ever.
fine.
What
It's
else?
fine.
Dumb and Dumber, the best comedy of the 90s. There are others, but it's the one that has aged the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
That was on my list.
100%. 100%.
Can you say that
Harry,
again, sir?
I took care of it. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
We're in the Rockies.
okay, if you had to say what is your most used, not your favorite.
Okay,
What is your
okay.
most used quote? I know I threw this out because I have to think about it too.
Man, this is hard.
If you
because
had to think of what your most used quote is,
Oh.
I know this is hard because we use a lot.
I have favorites because I like pulling deep cuts from the movie and
Yeah,
using
yeah.
those. So like, just like, man, I don't even know what my favorite. Would
I think
be.
I would say that my most used is, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
I have a reading disability that still affects me, and it's called chunking. And it affects my reading comprehension, which is weird because I can see a movie one time and I can recite the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear a song one time and I can play the whole thing on drums.
Yeah.
But when it comes to reading and like if I had to read something to myself, not out loud,
It
I
takes
couldn't
forever.
I couldn't tell you what it was about.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I I already did it.
There you go.
I mispronounced something. When I
You're doing it, Peter.
You're doing it, Peter. When I mispronounce something, I knew it started with an S though.
Yeah.
Samsonite. I was way off. That's
Yeah.
probably
Swimmy, swammy, swoo.
Yes, that's probably my most used. And then next to it is hey Harry, old buddy, old pal. Yeah? You wanna join me in a little celebration? Whatever you think will help your chances. That's why I like you, Harry. 'Cause you're a regular guy. Turbolax for fast, effective relief. That is probably, I don't know why.
The extra tongue.
Yeah, me and Natasha will be in the car and something will remind me of that scene and I randomly start saying that scene. Best 90s movie. Did you think of yours?
Yeah.
Okay, I got my.
Okay.
Okay, so probably my most used is just like anytime there's like the slimmest chance of something happening. I was like, so you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, there you go.
Like 1 in a million.
I love how we have an audio podcast.
And it was like spraying.
And we missed the one time where I just like projected my drink because
Full spit take.
I tried to take a drink while you were saying that. I don't know why. Oh my god, and I'm already messing up the thing. Anyways, yeah. So you're saying there's a chance.
That one, and then the pull over.
Yeah. Oh,
It's a cardigan. Thanks.
It's a cardigan, but thanks for asking. Killer boots, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one I use the most.
See why I said that this would just turn into a quote fest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
No,
hard.
the only other one that I have is when they get the moped and he pulls
Just
up.
go,
and
man.
he pulls up and he goes. He's like,
Ring, ring,
he's like,
ring, ring.
where did you get this thing? He's like, traded the car with a kid in town. Straight up. He's like, I get 50 miles to the gallon on this hog.
True story.
Oh no.
We're packing our things at the Lotus this past weekend at the beach.
Yeah.
I get my step ladder out to get in my giant truck. That there's no reason why I should have it.
Exactly.
Justin is also putting things in the small car that is too small. And I roll down my window and I say, still got room for one more if you want to go to Aspen. That literally happened this weekend. So that has to be included too.
Yeah.
Because he goes,
Still got one more if you want to go to Aspen.
where did you get that? Traded it in town. Some kid straight up. Dang it, no.
Yeah.
See, you got me saying it wrong. Hang on. Traded it to the van. Dang it, man.
Save it for the
Chunking.
episode.
Yeah.
Save it for the episode.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we have to move on.
where the beer flows like wine.
And the women flock like Capistrano. Anyway, okay. More 90s comedy. You're on the camera, Jordan.
All right.
I know you have something written down.
It's Liar Liar. Come on.
Another Jim Carrey classic.
Dude,
Okay.
he destroyed
Jim
the
Carrey,
90s with
he-
comedy.
There is
he really
one
did.
arch nemesis of Jim Carrey in the 90s.
Okay.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy is
Happy Gilmore.
yes.
Oh, man. So
Billy
many good ones.
Madison, also 90s.
He's the only person that I think like holds a T in
Yeah.
comedy movies in the 90s.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That can...
And the crazy thing too is there's a discussion for who aged better too, because Jim Carrey has become this kind of like philosophy figure where he's become almost like a motivational speaker because of his success.
Yeah.
And Adam Sandler has become almost like he's still trying to make it even though he's made it. Like if you think
I think that he just likes making movies, man.
and I think that's it too.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get to watch Uncut Gems because it didn't come out in the US first. But then he had that other movie with Chris Rock that was the Netflix release where they had the interracial marriage, and I think because I saw Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, I was getting this amazing funny movie, and it just wasn't. But he still he kind of played that space where I think that Adam Sandler, if he would have started serious, he could have went funny, but because he started funny, he can't go serious.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
and
he
I don't
went
want to
through a
detract.
weird-
I don't
yeah.
want to detract from what Jordan was trying to say, so I'm going to cut to Jordan.
sorry.
Which
No,
my
no.
God, nothing. Okay,
That-
Jordan, what were you were saying?
Nope.
There
Nope.
you go.
Oh, there we go.
You got it.
So, shucks flake.
Nailed it.
So, no, to add to that point, yes, a lot of comedians actually stop doing comedy
So
because
liar.
they want to do serious.
Yes.
Steve Martin ran into the same problem.
Swayze, of course.
Swayze. So, yeah. So, Liar Liar
Liar.
is
The pen is...
Okay.
my favorite quote.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite? Okay. Read what you had written for your notes, and then let's go into like a favorite liar scene because I know we all
No,
have
we're all
one.
going to just...
So yeah, the scene where he realizes that he is telling the truth and he's running through the office trying not to say anything to anybody because he hates all of his coworkers.
Yes.
I love that scene so much, and he's trying to cover his mouth. So good.
He's just running through the hallway.
That is classic Jim Carrey, 100%. I
One of
love
my-
it so much.
One of my favorites is the scene when he's in court.
Yes.
And he can't lie.
Oh yeah.
So my specific memory is watching this literally on cable television. So
Yeah,
it's on
yeah.
TNT, TBS.
Yeah,
I know this
exactly.
scene.
So he goes into the bathroom, beats the crap out of himself while he's trying to lie. He comes back out. He goes, "I'm kicking my butt," but like his mouth
Yes.
does not say butt. And
Yes.
like, dude, that is the funny. Just
because the judge asked him.
just because
Yeah.
of the ADR, like it looks so bad and
Yeah.
like is burned into my head. I'm
my-
kicking my butt.
my
so good.
my favorite thing, and this is deep cut. My absolute favorite thing about Liar Liar is Jim Carrey
Making fun of the
playing himself as another character in a character in his own movie.
Explain yourself.
Jim Carrey is his fire marshal Bill
Oh yeah, he
in
is.
Liar Liar.
Yeah.
At the very end of the movie, when the emergency, the plane hasn't even lifted, they have to do the emergency landing. They do the blanket. They do the slide. They all come out. If you look closely, the camera is cutting back and forth. My mic is falling down. If you look at that scene closely, the camera cuts two ways. It cuts to Jim Carrey when he's in his suit because he's flagged down the plane.
Yeah.
And it cuts back to the family where it's the stepdad, the mom, and the kid. In the background, there is a firefighter with the hat, the jacket, the sunglasses. It's Fire Marshal Bill, which might be where Jim Carrey arguably got his start.
Like he
yeah.
had fun doing it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Was Fire Marshal Bill SNL?
No, it was living in color.
Oh, thank you.
In living
Yeah.
color.
Yeah,
Living Color.
I knew the SNL thing didn't sound right, but
Canadian SNL.
it's just so deep cut that it's almost like we say things now that are meta, and what meta means is like when you think of like new age.
Liz, listen to this because she does not know what the word meta means every time I use it.
Okay, so meta is what is best, what is good, what makes sense.
Inside of the inside of the inside is the best way that I could describe it to her.
I would describe it as like if you think of okay, you have 3 items and those 3 items are put in order 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 being the best, that's meta. So if you're not using number 1, you're going against the meta. It makes sense to use number 1 because it's the best. So when you think of meta memes, like
Yeah.
I don't think of it like that.
I don't think
like
of that either.
you don't think of it that way? Like a video game meta?
No, meta to me is like
An inside joke on an
doing,
inside joke.
You're doing the joke of a character that you played in a movie that you're playing a new character in the background of a scene. Like you're like so like 3 things deep, 4 things deep, like
I would say like Leonardo DiCaprio being in all these memes is meta right now because it's being so used. Like
You're
that's
using-
meta.
that would have to be used in a Leonardo DiCaprio movie. It would have to be a meme of him inside of the movie.
No, you're using it as far as like gaming. Gaming, there's a meta that's number 1.
That's what I connect meta to.
There's 2 different types of metas.
Uh-huh.
There's a meta that is
And there can be
that.
2 types of metas in a video game.
Hey now. So
Don't
there's
you bring him
so
into
there's
this show.
there is a meta for video games, but there's also a meta that comes to jokes or references and things like that. Like when people say, "Oh God, that's so meta," they're not referring to something being the best. They're referring to that's so
relevant.
That's relevant, or that's so ironic that it's real.
Comically ironic, like 4 levels deep or something.
Exactly.
Almost like breaking the fourth wall.
Exactly.
The force wall.
Force wall.
Force wall.
Force wall.
That's
Is that the world between worlds?
that's the Cantina Manarita. That's what that is.
Yeah. Let's ask Justin what his favorite comedy.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We gotta go. Yeah. We gotta move
So
through this.
I kind of brought it up.
We gotta get on the train
I'm
and
gonna
start going.
I kind of brought it up in the 90s. I was crucially like debating if I'm gonna go Tommy Boy or Water Boy. It's one of the boys.
It's hard.
It's one of the boys.
Very hard.
Because Natterdays is for the boys.
Do you want me to tell you which one I think, and then you can go based off that, or do you want to go off your instinct?
Yeah, they're both so good. They're both so different, but also
and that's the hard part is they're very different. Tommy Boy is more relatable, but I personally think Water Boy is more funny because it's kind of like out there.
They're both SNL. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean it's the same era of SNL characters too, but like I don't know which one of those I would
man,
pick.
I can't
out of the
believe
two.
he passed
now.
away. Him passing was hard. Passing was bad.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Have you seen like last year the SNL episode where Adam Sandler came back and hosted, and he had a whole song
For him? No,
Yeah.
I gotta
No.
watch that.
Oh my god!
I gotta
it's
watch
so
that.
Good.
All right. So
But anyway, back to comedies. I'm gonna go Waterboy, just because I love screaming "Go to your home ball." Or,
That's Happy Gilmore.
But I'm just going Adam Sandler. I don't know what I'm doing.
what is happening on this episode?
It's fine. It's funny.
Oh my god.
Happy Gilmore is my favorite movie.
I'm dying. And if I fall out of my chair, the whole setup's gonna go down, and then the
Foosball.
webcams aren't gonna work like they weren't working earlier. Oh my god. It was bad. Okay.
Happy Gilmore.
Best-
Oh wait. Happy Gilmore.
Chubbs,
Yes.
The Mandalorian.
And you know what? Shout outs to our Mandalorian season 1
Yeah.
coverage, because I refused to call him Grief Karga.
No, we would not.
It was
He
always
will
Chubbs.
always be Chubbs. He will
not.
always be
we will
Chubbs.
not.
Yeah. Will not.
my God.
Jordan.
Not my Woody.
Not my son of a. Not my Woody.
I hope you're not asking me for my comedy because we already talked about my comedy.
Okay. Well,
Let's move on to animation.
yes, animation. So
This is
who wants
tricky.
to start with animation first? Jordan,
I
go
will.
ahead. I got the camera on you anyway.
Come on. if we're gonna be serious here, we're gonna talk
Y'all
about the
got
best.
phones. I don't have a phone to use.
Yeah.
I gave you a phone to use. It's right there.
I'm playing with no handicap, son.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh! So we're gonna talk about the best animated movie of the '90s, which was Beauty and the Beast.
See, you went Disney.
I did go
You
Disney,
basic white boy.
dude. I had to go Disney.
May as well said Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid was not '90s.
Are you ready for me to shatter your whole universe, or do you want to talk about Beauty and the Beast first, and then I can shatter it?
I'm going to talk about Beauty and the Beast first.
Okay.
Because
Talk, and then I'll shatter.
all right.
Beauty
so,
and the Beast. Okay, I will say this for people who
Good job talking.
this is like the 2020 debate last night. For people,
Hold on, did you say I'm not smart?
for people who I am very opinionated, and I am working on this. I am working
way.
on this. Okay, listen, I'm opinionated. I needed a podcast. This is where I get to get it out. Okay, Beauty and the Beast is one of the Disney movies. I'm not a big fan of old animated Disney movies. There are very few
Really?
that I really, really like. There are
Really?
very few.
Wait,
that
when
I
you
really
say
like.
old, do you mean like 50s, 60s, or do you mean 90s old?
Yeah.
Just like not
I
computer.
consider everything that I watched on VHS as a kid old. So being born in '92, that was every Disney movie on
That's
VHS.
a very sad life.
No, I have some favorites, and Beauty and the Beast. It wasn't something that I was like, oh, I have to watch this. But when you think of the story of Beauty and the Beast, it is one of the better ones.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah.
And
story.
it's the best iteration of animated to live action. That is
yeah.
10,000% the best.
Yeah.
Besides
Jungle Book, son.
1990, not the new one.
94.
92, 94?
94.
You know which one I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that one
With
is...
John Cleese?
I just realized that I had the camera on Jordan the whole time, and I
Yes,
was
you
being,
did.
I was
That's
being
good.
very animated.
Yeah, you were.
Okay. Please talk about Beauty and the Beast.
All right. So
Yes.
Beauty and the
Back
Beast.
to Jordan.
Back to Jordan.
1992.
Yes.
Ba, 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 ba.
Good.
So actually, I picked out a couple of quick things.
Very rapey.
Very rapey. I don't know. So it was. I watched the movie constantly. It was also like my parents' favorite Disney
Okay,
movie.
so that's what I was going to ask.
It was my
Why did you watch it constantly?
I
Because
watched
I
it
think there's a
constantly.
story between what Disney movie people watched when they were younger and why.
It was one of the few Disney movies that I could watch that I felt good about watching. Like, a lot of Disney movies just feel odd and feel weird while you're watching them. But then when you go and you watch it, the characters and the songs just feel so awesome. Like, it has some of the best songs in
Yeah.
Disney canon. That
It does.
I say Disney canon like Disney.
I
There's some
can't believe
non-Disney
they-
canon out
The
there.
new 52 of Disney canon.
I know, exactly. But no, it just had the best music. It had the best characters. The animation for it was fantastic.
And it was before they were like pushing in the CG.
Yeah.
Like they
Like-
had the one scene like where they in the dancing in the ball.
Yeah.
Where it cut into some CG.
but that was it. I mean,
Belle also arguably has the best
So hot.
inspired castle.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say.
Because we have Belle's Castle
yeah,
here in Florida.
Well-
and it is like
yeah. And
supposed I mean, I think it's one of the
it's
coolest
the only
castles.
castle that you get to see the inside of as well. Like Cinderella's castle, like
Bro, this
you
is
don't
a
really
this
see.
is this podcast is for children, okay, and family. Talking about.
Cinderella. You're the worst.
Oh no, okay, Cinderella. Anyway, no, definitely for sure. So, who's your favorite character if you had to pick?
I'm actually going to pick Lumiere.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Tell me
love-
why. Tell me why.
Because he has the best one-liners.
Uh-huh.
He drives the story out of most anybody, because without him, Belle wouldn't have stayed in the castle. She wouldn't have stayed to fall in love with the Beast, and Beast wouldn't have been motivated enough to actually try to go after Belle. On top of that,
So he's literally he's just the anchor of the whole movie.
yeah, and also
No.
Jerry Orbach. You know Jerry Orbach from
Uh-huh.
Law and Order,
Okay.
voiced Lumiere.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the.
Gaston is the anchor of the entire movie.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Gaston,
listen.
yeah.
Gaston.
No one.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't know the words to the song.
You know what?
Singing
You know what,
things
Jordan?
and
You have changed my mind. I was gonna shatter your universe. It might still shatter your universe, but my
don't care.
universe has reverted.
What's your movie?
Okay,
Stop talking. What's your movie?
Yes.
Iron Giant.
Oh.
Funny you say that.
Okay, why is it funny that I
so
say that?
good.
I added a category at the end of this episode of movies you've never seen from the 90s that will piss everyone off that you've never seen them.
never seen the Iron Giant?
There it is.
How dare
What
you?
is wrong with you?
How dare
seen it.
you?
Never.
You
seen
have
it.
no soul.
Now I never will.
Oh my god.
Never seen it.
Podcast over. Podcast over. Where do we go from here?
Thanks for joining us this week on KonKon's Cantina. We're gonna make a quick cut, and we're just gonna go right to the exit. Please follow us on Facebook, all social media. No, I'm just kidding. You've never seen the Iron
No.
Giant.
Dude, I've never seen it.
Okay,
That's why I added this category.
Real-
Because I thought it would break the world when I said that I've never seen this movie.
the realist of talk. You have to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you have to watch it.
No.
I'm not going to go into detail now because in already my reaction is going to overhype it, but it is such a good. There's so many relatable things in the Iron Giant. I don't want to step on your toes with Beauty and the Beast. Was there anything else that you
No,
wanted to?
that's it. Go.
Okay.
Go.
There's so many things about, like, especially myself growing up in predominantly a single parent household. You just can't get off this. Listen, bro, I'm like Dr. Seuss, okay? I switch vowels and consonants in my head and I come up with new words.
my
It's
God.
real. Anyway,
Dyslexic chunker.
it's not dyslexia. That's different.
Don't trigger him.
There's so much about the Iron Giant, like kind of like there's these stepfather figures and going against the law and being a kid out in the woods with your BB gun.
I literally don't know the concept of the movie, so I'm up for watching it.
Yeah.
Then I'm not going to go any further. It is a much watch. It is a must watch, and it is definitely my favorite animated movie of the 90s.
And as somebody who loves, like yourself, who loves a coming of age story, it is a fantastic coming of age story.
I think what was the year that came out with? Because I think that it might have been.
It might have been 98.
It's 90. It's 99, and I almost didn't include it, but it's so good.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
that I had.
Can I
You have
explain
to.
myself?
Sure.
In 99, I'm 14. And I had a little sister at that time that was watching crap that I had no desire to watch.
Yeah.
And I think this just fell so cleanly into the line of, like, I'm trying to be cool and older.
Yeah,
and I'm 14, and I
yeah.
don't want to watch the little kid animated movie.
And-
regardless, like, as an adult, I can
And
watch
Phantom Menace came out the same year.
Yeah.
As an adult, I watch animated movies and I can see, like, how they're so good and relatable and the stories are awesome. But when you're 14, 15, you're like, kid movie, adult movie.
Yeah,
And
it's a
that's
hard
all
line.
that I saw.
And I get that. I think that if you would have watched this as 14-year-old Justin,
I probably would have liked it.
you
Yeah.
would have definitely
I
liked
remember
it.
staying in, like, a road trip Motel 6 or Motel 8, some like off the interstate hotel that you just pull off when you're doing a long road trip with your family.
Yeah.
And it was playing.
Okay.
And my sister was so excited that it was on.
Yeah.
And I turned it off and put on Batman Returns.
Okay. Oh my God. Not a bad choice.
Let's
Not a bad choice.
Let's move on. Let's just move on. Justin is definitely, that's his homework. He has
Yes,
to
I
watch,
have to watch
the
that.
Iron Giant. What is your animated movie?
I struggled because I didn't want to pick a Disney movie.
And that was the hard part. And
Because-
I didn't pick it. Well,
So I went.
it wasn't hard for me, but you know.
So I went with Fern Gully.
Ooh.
Did you guys like that
Bro,
movie?
Oh.
It's not my favorite, but it's worth talking about.
It is.
Bro.
Save the rainforest, son.
dude, I literally have a podcast with you, and you're
Fern
like,
Gully.
bro, you're like, I haven't seen Iron Giant. Can
But
we
Fern
talk
Gully.
about Fern Gully?
Do you know how?
So wait a minute.
Talk about Fern Gully.
Fern,
No.
Fern
That
Gully
bat-
is good. I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah, the
They
bat.
skateboarded on leaves.
Yes, it is good.
No,
it is
Fern
good.
Gully
The
was
little pixie girl was hot when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. No, the only thing that I would say about that movie is that the monster of the movie, the villain, who's that tar monster,
Yes.
scared the crap out of me
The
as
tar
a kid.
monster and people
Man.
burning down the
Speaking
rainforest.
of things that scared the crap out of you, we didn't talk about honorable mentions in comedy for that for the 90s for comedy.
Yeah.
We have honorable mentions. Continue Ferngully, and then you gave your, and then I'm going to talk about an honorable mention, that something that scared the crap out of me.
So, Ferngully is one that I wanted to say, but the other one that was a 50-50 tie was Fievel Goes West.
Okay.
Fievel Goes West was like late. The first Fievel was An American Tail. Was not my favorite.
Yeah.
Fievel Goes West, number 2, specifically. I loved that movie so much.
And the thing that's hard about the 90s in particular, and kind of like when you wrote this episode, Justin, is you specifically said in quotations, not quotations, but parentheses, like not Disney, because
I said that
the
to
90s,
us, yeah.
well, to us, because it's so hard to not talk about the 90s.
The classic, like, yeah.
I think it's a great time. Let me just scroll through a couple of honorable mentions. I'm just going to mention a couple. This is full send, and this is why the 90s animated might be the most packed conversation,
There's so many.
which we spent a lot of time on action.
There was a guy, you have to forgive me if I can't remember his name exactly. His name in my brain is George Bluth, but that's from Arrested Development.
But nope, not it.
Yeah.
You got it.
It's something just like that. Like, I should have done the right research.
All right,
but
let me go.
Hold on. He's an he was an animator for Disney.
Okay.
Who left Disney in the 90s, and he started his own animation company. And it's where we got a ton of these Disney look-alike movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're not your classic fairy tale stories. So, like, the Swan Princess and...
Dude, it's funny you say that, because that was one I was going to bring up, is the Swan Princess.
Yes, he's the same guy that did the oh my god,
Land Before Time.
Land Before Time.
Did he do Land for?
No.
Disney didn't do Land Before
No,
Time.
No, Disney
no,
did
no,
do
no.
that, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not the same guy.
No,
but-
no,
Okay.
no. So if you want to talk about some honorable mentions for animation, we got to talk about Rockadoodle.
Yes.
We got to talk about Brave Little Toaster.
Yes,
as
that was
well.
on my
Okay,
list.
hang on. Brave Little Toaster. I don't know what it is. The vacuum gave me nightmares.
Creepy.
No.
He's
It
creepy.
was when the vacuum went crazy at the
Yeah,
waterfall
dude.
that just set you over.
Dude, I couldn't do it.
It was the junk pawn shop that scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Brave Little Toaster got me.
Something about 90s cartoons made the animators want to frighten
Yeah,
children.
they liked a little bit of creepy in there.
Yeah,
they liked some stuff.
Not All Dogs Go to Heaven was
Yes.
another one.
That was the
just
same guy. That was the guy I was
super
talking about
creepy.
earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of
George
those movies.
Bluth.
Some more honorable mentions, and then we're going to move on to our next category. James and the Giant Peach.
Never liked it.
I didn't
Me
like
either.
it either, but the animation is something that, like, if you were to tell me that, like, Tim Burton was doing, like, animation, obviously Tim Burton has done animation, but, like, that style animation is so something that I put outside of the realm of normal that
Yeah.
I feel like I wish people were to revisit that. It reminds me of new age 2D games like Cuphead. Like,
Yeah.
that style animation by itself, that movie also creeped me out when I was little. It reminded me of, like, especially, like, the kids, like, parents
They're
or whatever
all-
the case.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
long,
really weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Gangly, creepy.
A Bug's Life,
Oh no, we didn't even talk about Toy Story either.
Toy Story,
The original Pixar film.
the original Lion King. Okay, Fern Gully and Fern Gully 2.
That's right, we said that.
Stuart Little, 101
Nope.
Dalmatians, non-animated.
Oh, the live action.
The live action, that was a pretty good iteration.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about animated. Balto.
Balto.
I
watched it.
loved Balto.
I barely remember that movie.
Even
I loved
at
White
your
Fang, so I could see that I would probably like that.
Yeah, Balto was really good.
Aladdin.
Aladdin. Yeah.
Really hard not to talk about Aladdin. Hang on. Tarzan.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's right. Tarzan was
Phil
like 98.
Collins.
Yeah.
Tarzan was 1999.
Ooh.
Dang, 99 had some bangers, man.
Yeah. Ending the
Ending
getting into the millennia.
And one of my favorite
Y2K.
underrated non-Disney animated movies, Ants, 1998.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
Ants more than Bug's Life. Fight
Yeah.
me.
No. I'm not gonna
Fight
fight
me
you
in the
on that.
comments.
It's a better story.
I do like Ants.
Yeah.
Hopper, all that stuff.
Yeah. No. That was one of those movies
No,
that, as a
Hopper's
kid,
Bugs Life. I'm just kidding.
yeah, no,
but
as
Ants,
a kid,
yeah,
as
Ants
a
is
kid,
good.
that movie got me emotional even as a kid.
The battle scene where they
So
fight the
good.
termites, and
Yeah.
it's like the yeah. I do really like Ants. Ants was a good one.
Yep.
Our next category is
What is it?
it's
I
just
think this
best
is
movie.
Best movie.
So this is where we pick our favorite movie of the decade. And
You already mentioned.
well, you said yours.
I had two that were tied. You said Hook, which is one of mine.
Hook. Yeah. Okay.
It's so hard.
Let's just take this
Thanks
opportunity.
for that quick millisecond of
I did.
camera on me.
Yeah, I
taking
gave.
over.
Yeah, there you go. It's back on you. Captain's back. Let's talk about Hook,
Let's talk about Hook.
because Hook is.
Also-
Let's talk about Robin Williams.
Yes.
Also, my movie of the decade.
Good.
As well.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, your movie
Fist
of the
bump.
decade.
Yes.
So
All right. You know what? Send it to Jordan because I
Jordan,
have
it's
a, I
on,
have a
it's on
backup.
Jordan. So let's go. So Hook.
Best Robin Williams movie ever.
Okay.
It is also, in a weird
I don't know
way,
if you've seen Mrs. Doubtfire, but
that is really good. But no,
Have you ever seen Flubber?
I have. I had it on VHS.
Dude, Flubber was way better as a kid, and I rewatched it as an adult recently, and that movie does not age well. Sorry,
for you.
the noise you hear is my keyboard.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No way.
Yeah.
So
Hook.
So Robin Williams did
Give
a
us a
fantastic job. It is a very, very, very quotable movie. It is also weirdly also a coming of age tale.
Yes, 100%.
It is
Yep.
a coming of age tale for when you're a kid, but it's also a coming of age tale as an adult,
Yeah.
in realizing that you may have lost
Wasting your time on your job.
wasting your time on your job, realizing that you lost that childhood spark.
Wasting your time as, like, for me as a parent, wasting my time worrying about work when I'm losing the time with a kid when
Yeah.
they're the most memorable and impressionable parts of their life.
Isn't that the hardest thing? Is people constantly, and this is exactly to your point, Jordan, is the reason why it's coming of age is you kind of go through these cycles where you're like, wow, like my company doesn't care about me.
Yeah.
My company does not give I don't have something to bleep out something that I want to say on this board. I need to put one in.
Say it.
Yeah.
My company.
Doesn't give a about me, right?
Star Wars podcast.
Yep.
And that movie really puts it into perspective.
Yeah.
And not to go off the rails, but that's the amazing KonKon's Cantina monster fridge that you're hearing.
Yeah.
What's the movie with Obi-Wan Kenobi where he goes
Star
and
Wars.
he's Winnie the Pooh?
Christopher Robin.
Christopher Robin. That movie has the exact same message, that he realizes that he's grown up too fast, basically, and that,
Right. Yeah.
anyway,
yeah.
not to go off the rails,
Yeah.
but that is such an important message that
That's
like
why
movies,
it resonates through
Yes.
your ages, like
Yeah.
kid
Yes.
to adult. Like it resonates continually.
Yeah. And
Continue, Jordan.
Yeah. No, Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook is one of the
Give us a hook.
greatest
Hook. Give us
one
a
of
hook.
the greatest performances. It took me forever to realize that was Dustin Hoffman.
well,
Dude, he knocked it out of the
Yeah,
park.
he did. And
And his like twist
Yep.
with his little hook as he's going.
yeah. And the actor, I'm trying to remember his name, the actor who played
Shmi.
Shmi. Yes.
Shmi.
Also another
it's crazy to see, like, Dustin Hoffman had to
Dustin.
have
Not Dustman.
what? I said
He said-
Dustin.
He's a Dustman Hoffman.
Dust-
Dustman Hoffman. Dustin had to have like platform shoes, his boots.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
not tall.
Oh, yeah.
No.
And like they made him super tall
No.
for the movie. And Dante Basco is Rufio.
They
Yeah.
literally, he was a superhero
He
to me as a
was.
kid.
Dude, yes. The
Coolest
bone
dude.
the bone lapel
His
vest,
skate-
whatever you want
his
to call
skateboard
it.
glider deal
Yeah.
that he would.
And he's coming through, and he is the voice of Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and
Nice.
it is just
Is that
it's
the blue people or the
you
forehead
do this
tattoo
every
people?
time, and stop it. It's not funny. Nobody likes you for it. Okay, you know it's the American cartoon. Stop.
You do not get the rank of anime.
You. And we also don't grant you a seat on this council. But anyway, yeah, continue, Jordan.
All right. No, it's such a great, good feeling movie. Robin Williams does such a great job. Julia Roberts playing
yeah.
as Tinkerbell.
Which is
knocked it
crazy
out
because,
of the
like, I
park.
never think of her as Tinkerbell.
Knocked it out of the park, but it's because she plays the character so well that you don't remember that
And
it's
again,
her.
practical effects.
Yeah.
In full effect. Like,
Yeah.
amazing.
The thing that is disturbing is sometimes we talk about at this podcast, and we're not movie critics, right?
Right.
But we are the people paying the price tag for admission to see these movies, right? Have you ever looked at the scores for this movie?
It's awful.
Really?
6 out of 10.
Yeah.
On IMDb. 29% audience score on Rotten Tomato.
So,
Which is crazy.
That's insane.
The metric score is 52%.
yeah.
So the critics even liked it more than the audience scores, which is
Yeah.
just astounding to me
That
because
doesn't even make sense.
It really doesn't.
To be fair, these scores are all populated after the movie has been out for 20 years.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. You're saying
is
the
that
audience
because
score,
Rotten Tomato the scale can continue to change?
Yes.
Yeah, and so this is not what the score was when the movie came out.
No.
This is
So-
people watching the movie now.
And also
89 or 87% of Google users liked the movie.
Yeah.
So that's good.
so I would
I don't know a human being that doesn't like that movie.
No. Well, I actually do know a couple of human
Well,
beings.
then
and
write them off.
Exactly. So
It's not Monica, is it?
No.
Okay,
no,
we're
no,
good.
No. So
Monica's
it's
a
not
woman
my
of
wife.
Monica's a woman of
My
culture,
wife.
so
So no. I think it's partially because if you didn't grow up with the movie
Yeah.
or some of these movies that we've mentioned, you don't have an appreciation for it. You don't have a memory of it.
Yeah.
And having a memory of something is stronger than than watching it for the
Yes,
first time.
I
ever.
agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Because
So-
going along with what you just said, literally I'm wearing a Mighty Ducks jersey
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I don't think that most of the world would give a rat's crap about Mighty Ducks, but for me, because of watching it in my era, it's my favorite. Hence, I'm wearing this jersey.
It's
Yep.
so good.
D2.
So
I think to kind of wrap up
Hook.
really what I said at the beginning of the episode is if you haven't seen these movies, you need to see them.
Absolutely.
What do you think the best decade?
For
movies.
my
Yeah, yeah,
you
you mean-
know my pick. Oh, my pick is literally between Jurassic Park and Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Those are the two best. And the only reason Phantom Menace edges its way in there is because of what Star Wars has become. Because Star Wars isn't what it is now, even in '99 when it came out.
Yeah.
No, for sure, yeah.
Like Star Wars was already a worldwide movement, and then when the prequels came out, it catapulted Star Wars into this whole new Okay, I grew up, and we've talked about this, and when we get new guests on, we'll continue the Star Wars saga thing that we do on the podcast. But I grew up with the originals, and then like, even though it's still not my favorite, I still like the originals the best. The prequels is my Star Wars. I remember going to 99 dressed up as Anakin Skywalker. We got the template from, this is when Walmart had the whole sewing section. We got a template.
yeah.
Like I cosplayed all three movies, 99, like all the prequels. But Jurassic Park is just, I think that Jurassic Park is so timeless. Like
Yeah.
dinosaurs, it's so almost,
It hasn't aged.
yeah, it hasn't, and it's
You
aged
can't
to the
watch
best.
it, and it does nothing about it looks dated when you watch it.
No.
Yeah.
I remember like Jurassic Park also fits into like this ultra specific and unique timeline that I remember seeing it in the theaters, but I also remember seeing it in a drive-in movie theater.
Oh my
like
God.
old school, like mega screen drive-in movie theater.
Okay,
Turn your
boomer.
station to 88.8 to listen to the movie.
Mhm.
It's like it fit in this like such an in-between timeline of technology.
Yeah.
That you had so much old school stuff. You had practical effects. You had claymation.
Yep.
And then you had this massive blockbuster that was also pioneering all of this CG and cutting edge technology.
Yeah.
And everything that turned into like it started the new movies, like it started special effects.
Yeah.
And it just fit so cleanly between the two
Yeah.
and transitioned between the two that it's really hard not to pick that as the best of the decade. I think realistically, like that movie is perfect.
Yeah, I don't blame you for choosing that to be your movie of the decade at all.
It's still between the two, but I still, if I had to give one the edge, is there's way more. I think there's more better. There's more better. I think there's better Star Wars content than there is better Jurassic Park content.
Now or then?
Yeah.
Well, I say like not you can't include an original trilogy, obviously, but like
Well, see, that's another question. If you put it in that aspect, because we're talking about this as us now talking about the 90s, not us being in the 90s talking about this. So if we're talking about
best movie made between 1990 and 1999,
Yeah.
it's Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
There's just bad acting.
So
There's better acting in Jurassic Park than there is in Phantom
there's
Menace.
nothing bad
Yeah.
to pick out in Jurassic Park.
right.
Yeah.
At least not for me that
No.
I can think
No,
of.
no.
And that's even if we weren't Star Wars fans, like we could still say like
Yeah.
there's and we love Star Wars. Obviously, it's a Star Wars forward podcast.
What Phantom Menace started and like the precedents that it set for these new movies, better than a lot of things.
Yeah.
Better than new Star Wars.
I will say, if you're talking about movies moving forward, I would say that Phantom Menace did more for their franchise.
For the franchise, yeah.
Than the original
Yes.
Jurassic Park did.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park
Because-
has went up and down and
Yeah.
up and down and
Yeah.
up and down.
And, based on everything that came out of Clone Wars, out of Rebels and everything, that was all based on episode 1.
Yeah.
A lot of that came from that. So,
Has anybody watched the new Disney Plus Jurassic Park cartoon show?
no.
No, I
heard
didn't know
about
it was on there.
Yes,
I need to
there's
look at it.
there's a new. I haven't watched it either. It just popped up and it's like in the new releases. There's a new cartoon,
Gonna have to
CG looking
check that
show
out.
of Jurassic Park. It looks very.
I don't know what to think about an animated Jurassic Park. That's not like I hear animated Jurassic Park and immediately think about dinosaurs talking and trying to
We're
live their own
back.
life.
Let's talk about We're Back right now.
Littlefoot. I think, or a Littlefoot. I think this is a good time to conclude with more honorable mentions that we wanted to talk about, and there's just not enough time. So I'm just going to start
Matrix.
listing a couple of things very, very quickly. How do you
Fight
guys
Club.
feel about Titanic? Is Titanic as
Titanic-
good as everybody says, or is it
Titanic
hype?
was the most paused VHS number 2 cassette in my entire house.
Your dad's like, hey, why
Sorry.
does the thing stop right here? Like, why does the movie
the
not work?
tracking
There's a
goes
story there.
haywire whenever we go to the tape 2.
No.
I was totally defeated when I found out that she used a body double. If you didn't know,
I did not know.
now you know.
Okay.
I think that Titanic is it is a good movie.
Oh, yeah, it's a great movie.
Of course, it's a great movie. The acting is very, very top notch.
Yeah.
The one thing that Titanic does well for me personally is the entire movie takes place on a boat that really doesn't go that far, because if you actually understand of where it goes to where it sinks, it's the time span that the movie is almost relatable with the time frame of how long it would take them to get there.
Yeah.
And with the movie taking place in one spot, there's a lot of ups and downs. They project the levels of the Titanic very well, like the
Yes.
high, the poor.
The
That I like about it. I do think the romantic aspect of the movie, which is what most people focus on, is overrated.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Going along with Titanic and its cast is Billy Zane.
Oh, dude, yes.
And Billy
Yeah.
Zane, I loved him in that movie, but
Kills it.
This is another movie that's a 90s quick reference for me. Did you guys watch The Phantom? It was like one of the earliest superhero movies. He's like in a purple leotard.
I remember hearing about
Billy
it, but
Zane
no.
was the Phantom,
No.
and that is a classic 90s movie that is a good, bad superhero movie that you should watch.
Yeah.
A couple of more of these
Zorro.
honorable. Yes, Zorro is on there. Definitely something that we could literally almost have a whole episode
Oh,
about.
yes.
In fact, how Zorro hasn't made a resurgence
Seriously.
Yeah.
is a little disturbing to me. But
Yeah.
a couple of more things, a couple of more movies that definitely have to be mentioned. Forrest Gump, 1994.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Forrest Gump is an amazing
It just
movie.
didn't fit into the categories
No.
we had. Exactly.
Exactly.
It was more of a drama film.
Attack of the Martians, Attack of Mars.
Oh,
Oh
Mars,
my God.
Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks.
The campiest movie ever.
Campy.
Yes.
Every 90s actor ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
But still absolutely amazing. We mentioned Waterworld, of course.
Yes.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. Another John Williams.
Saving Private Ryan is referenced
Spielberg.
as one of the most accurate World War II movies ever created.
Probably still my favorite Tom Hanks film.
And we talked about this on the beach. We were talking about the draft, and we talked about Saving Private Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Saving Private Ryan is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this movie up is when I was younger, or up until Jordan basically told me, I am not able to actually be drafted because of the basis of this movie. The basis of this movie is they have 3 brothers that were all drafted into World War II. I almost said 3. Drafted into World War II, and they were all different branches of the military. Well, one was Navy, 2 were Army. One of them died, the other one died. The last one, which was Ryan,
Private
the last
Ryan,
name Ryan,
yeah.
because he
Matt
had to
Damon.
carry on the name Matt Damon, they had to go and they had to save him.
Yep.
So it kind of like hit home as like, I carry on that name. It's basically the premise of the movie. It's
a fantastic movie.
the acting
Oh
is
my
just
gosh. The
and
actors,
practical effect.
yeah.
Everything about that movie is just
so good.
yeah, and it's a testament to
When was the last time you watched it?
the last time I like legit watched it was I was in AP American History in high school.
Oh god.
So that was 2010. That was my senior year, and we watched that movie. And we had to write a paper on World War II. And I'll never forget it. We were talking about 90s slang earlier. This isn't the 90s, but one of the slang that was really popular when I was in high school was, "Oh, that's green." And that's green is like, that's not good, that's bad. In the opening scene of the attack on Normandy Beach, when everybody is just getting
Mowed down.
Yeah.
absolutely slaughtered, is I'll never forget like somebody saying that green. And shout outs to Mr. Than, which was my teacher at the time.
Yeah.
He literally paused the movie and he was like, do you understand that this is based on people that are dead?
yeah.
Actually, this is not a story. This is
No.
And
history.
he was Vietnamese. This wasn't like an American patriot type stand.
Yeah.
This wasn't a nationalistic speech that he gave the classroom. He was like, this happened.
Mm-hmm.
This is depicted based on diaries.
It's probably
footage.
less brutal than what actually happened.
Yeah.
They probably couldn't even depict what realistically happened
And
on
that,
a film and not
Yeah.
been like disgusting.
yeah, and that movie was still brutal. Super brutal. You know,
Yeah.
even with TV, it was rough.
I mean, and that's what you get for warfare. But
Yeah.
definitely Saving Private Ryan had to be mentioned.
Ending on a high note.
Yeah, yeah. Just a couple of more, and then I know for sure. Shawshank Redemption has to be mentioned.
Yes. The most
Digging through
played
the
movie
poop
on
channel.
the most played movie on TNT
Exactly.
of all time.
Yeah, pretty much. One other honorable mention that I wanted to put, and I almost picked this as my animated film, Prince of Egypt. Have either of you ever seen The Prince of Egypt?
Isn't that the
Negative.
movie based on Moses?
Ye-
And yeah,
Dude,
that's a good one. That is a good one.
it is so
Accurate.
biblically correct.
Yeah, it is.
That it's scary. When you
Yeah.
think of like biblical movies like the Ten Commandments,
Yeah.
and there was the new one with Christian
Passion of
Bale.
Christ.
Yeah.
Passion of Christ, and
Yeah.
the one with Christian Bale, I can't remember the name of it. The Christian Bale one that and then there was the other one with we were talking about him. He's in Master and Commander.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe plays Noah. I didn't even
Yeah.
I didn't even bother.
no,
That
no,
looked
no.
absolutely ridiculous. But the Prince of Egypt is definitely just
Yeah.
it's scary. Wild Wild West. Will Smith.
Men in Black.
Men in
Men in
Black,
Black.
has
Yep.
to be
Getting
mentioned.
jiggy with it.
We didn't even list this in our comedy, The Mask.
Well, I kind of like left just all Jim Carrey like collectively be one thing.
If Jim Carrey's is not the 90s, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
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 Like the only person is Adam Sandler.
I know
Those
you had
two-
something to say.
Oh no. I had a couple of ones for animated. It's not exactly fun animated.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in my honorable mentions. Princess Mononoke.
See, I didn't want to get into the anime. Like,
Yeah.
if we
I know
broke into the
'cause
anime,
that's
like,
like a
it's a
whole
completely
episode
different
on.
thing.
Yeah, that's a whole
And
episode on its own.
The Studio Ghibli, if you
you can't even.
Well, see, I knew that
Absolutely.
you would
technically
appreciate
that's
it.
Disney.
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli's Disney.
well,
Technically.
it now is Disney. It wasn't in the 90s.
It's when did they purchase it?
a while ago.
It was. I thought it was still early 2000s when they did that. But
That
in any
has to
case.
be the most renowned best animated or anime
Princess
movie.
Mononoke, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the
Yeah,
Shell was
Ghost in the
another
Shell,
one. And then,
yeah.
Why didn't we talk about the Disney Three Musketeers, the live action?
Oh, that was good. That had Chris O'Donnell.
It
and
is
it
a
had-
good one.
Charlie Sheen. Oh my gosh,
It is a
It
good one.
also
So good.
had what's his name?
This scarf was from the Queen of America. Love that so much. Also, got to mention the worst movies of the '90s, which were the Mortal Kombat movies.
Ooh, Street Fighter
I'm
movie.
sorry, but Mortal Kombat anything is bad.
Well, yes.
You can't at me because
No,
you're
no.
not going to have anything to at me with. It's
These-
horrible.
These were worse than the games. They were awful.
Yeah,
Watch 'em.
dude. Everything about Mortal Kombat. Why can't I think of the name of the studio?
Of what?
Winter.
NetherRealm.
Oh my God, guys, stop! Like, I don't know who's supporting you. Like, you're living off like some trust fund that like is still letting you like design games. Stop.
Can
All
I
right.
just mention every single Jackie Chan movie from the
Yeah.
90s?
You don't
Good
like
call.
Jackie Chan.
What are you talking about, you freak?
I thought you had a stance of you didn't like the Jackie Chan movies.
Are you messing with me right
No,
now?
I'm not. I really thought that. Is it James who
Dude.
doesn't like the Jackie Chan movies?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Like,
okay.
I grew up like idolizing Jackie Chan. Like I literally watched every like imported Jackie Chan movie, every Jet Li movie, like martial arts movie was my thing. I just couldn't include that because it's very narrow. There's not a huge group of people that would
That's a
include
very
that in
specific
their best.
genre.
We're each gonna pick one last movie.
What for? What?
One last movie,
For what?
and then because
Wait,
we
we're
got to
picking-
wrap this up.
Yeah.
We're picking more movies?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we
what I was
are.
about to ask.
Because I just realized that I didn't mention something. Because remember when I talked
God.
to you about my original list, I didn't use the internet for reference when you wrote. So Justin wrote this episode, and I did not use the internet for reference. I just started writing things down. So I had things
Okay.
like Count of Monte Cristo
Oh my
that I didn't realize. I
God.
swore Count of Monte Cristo was like 98,
I
99.
thought
It
Princess
wasn't.
Bride was the 90s for a long time.
No, it's 80s.
Exactly. Man in the Iron Mask.
Oh,
That is Leonardo's best movie.
It's up there.
It's up there.
Up there.
It's top 3, right?
Definitely.
Definitely top 3. So, does anybody else have any last?
You want more non-90s movies?
Well,
Oh,
no,
let's go.
that is 90s. It's 98.
I'll give you a quick little piece on Toy Story.
Okay.
Because that was my
Not
second,
my Woody.
Not my Woody. The original Toy Story. Wallace Shawn was Rex, who also played Vicini in Princess Bride.
Okay.
But also Jim Varney.
Does anybody want a
Jim Varney of the Ernest movies was Slinky Dog.
Hold
Oh.
on. Ernest is Slinky?
Yeah. Absolutely.
My mind is blown.
Yeah.
Ernest is Sneaky.
Yeah.
Slinky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ernest goes to camp.
Yeah.
Ernest goes to
Same
jail.
guy. It was.
Your face.
Yeah, exactly. I had that exact same expression. I could not believe it.
I didn't bring up any of the Ernest movies.
Dude, I mean, they're all the same. You just say Ernest
are.
and the
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Jordan,
Exactly.
you blew my mind.
Toy Story.
Yeah. Toy Story. No. Toy Story was a fantastic movie. It was the original Pixar movie. It was what got their studio off the ground. That movie actually took like 7 years to actually create.
Yeah.
So,
Not my Woody.
Not my Woody.
so considering it was 1995
Uh-huh.
and it still looks good outside of the dog that's in the movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. Love it to death.
I think that's a good place to leave off.
Yeah.
This is 10,000% our longest episode ever.
No.
fine.
The
No.
fast food episode was pretty.
What, the one that we tried to do at the cabin?
No. The one that you actually did with Tasha and Liz.
That was a long episode. That was actually
They
well
did that episode?
Yeah.
We recorded that episode so many times
Well,
that I
dude,
don't know which one is the
we
one that
did it
came
in
out.
Gatlinburg and we didn't record it because we had a fire and we couldn't bring out the equipment. And
we
then
did it in Russell's house.
And then we did it at Russell's and the memory card. That was our first and only actual memory card, like where memory card
Critical failure.
Yeah, critical failure. Just it didn't.
Died.
It died.
And then we got angry and said, never again.
never again.
And we did it again.
And then we did it again. Well, guys,
That was a harsh intro
It-
exit music.
listen,
Dude.
I'm wrapping this up.
Yep.
Okay, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this. What are your favorite 90s movies? Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
Animated, comedy, action, coming of age.
Yeah.
All of those honorable mentions, anything like that. See, my own intro music is getting us
Fading
out.
up, fading out.
So I was It's KonKon, followed by
Justin Baker.
and
The Casual Kid.
we'll see you guys next time.
Later. Should never do an episode.